Okay, how's it going, fellow revolutionaries? Alright, I'm gonna have to keep this short. One, because upload times are insane. Two, I'm assuming you're all very busy, what with the sort of turn on of society that we're seeing. But for what it's worth, as always, you're all in my prayers, and I hope you're all, again, with people that you're getting along with and improving your environments if you watched my last video. If not, you're still in my prayers, and I hope you're with people that you're getting along with and your situation is improving. Okay, so for what it's worth, I know I always moonwalk the fence on a lot of things, and my opinion usually is one that keeps the conversation going. Occasionally, I know I say something really sarcastic and obscene, which seems to always remind people, no matter how much I may grow up and get it together, there's just certain things I can't help but say or laugh at. Uh, Things I absolutely have to say after almost 2 years of doing this. Look, um, the page, things that I do and don't like. Obviously, I keep people on there that I don't necessarily get along with or agree with, but as an overall page, one, I think that there's a lot of racism. I've always thought that. I've always thought there was a lot of misogyny. I've always thought there's been a lot of racism. I can't help but notice that the loudest voices seem to scare off the more moderate and or sane, rational, or let's just say more willing people to talk kind of seem to get scared off really, really quick. And it bums me out because we've lost minorities, women, and that's not to reduce people to that, it's to actually recognize that they do exist. Yes, women exist, minorities exist, and yes, their experience is totally different from guys that look like this. It's crazy, yeah. So I wanted to recognize, despite a yellow and black flag, despite being an ANCAP, despite, you know, being this white and in a relationship with the queen, I'm not going to speak for minorities, I'm not going to speak for women, but I am going to speak to the fact that on this page, it hasn't been a picnic to be either one, and I want to recognize that as the administration. You wonder why I'm so quick to jump in there and stand up for that side. Well, it's because they get screamed down so much. Two, I gotta say, of the, righties that, you know, bad behavior in my book that I think would be more apologetic for, say, I don't know, racism or apologizing for government expansion. I'm not sitting here blaming you all. There's a lot of you that bring great articles, and I thank you for your commitment to 2A. I thank you for your commitment to free speech and all that, and PNA, God bless you. I'm so glad that you guys have a space over there to celebrate more of the conservative stuff. And that's the other thing. No, worshiping the government and racism are not conservative values. They're just cancer that exists in that camp, the same way as, genocide against the Jewish people, the destruction of Israel, psychotic communism, and jihadis infect the left. There's cancer on both sides. One thing I will say is it bums me out that a lot of the women and air quotes lefties, which are just simply people who think that, I don't know, if the government's going to steal our money at gunpoint, why doesn't it go to, I don't know, feeding people that are trying, for those of you who have ridden the bus for years and, seen the lazy people, oh, I'm sorry, the single moms working double shifts at, McDonald's or Arby's, dropping their kid off and going to school at night, to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, for everyone who's been there and gotten to know those people, those lazy lefties. So, yeah, there's plenty of people who seem to recognize that stolen tax dollars could actually go to improving their lives and, raising awareness of, say, the existence of people's lives who aren't so privileged. You know, God bless those of us who still hold that on the page. And although being an ANCAP, and this drives me absolutely insane. As a skinny white guy who's, you know, in a relationship with the queen, it shouldn't have to be someone like me having to point out, don't be a dick. You know, I don't want to speak for women and minorities. I don't. I just have to speak to the fact that they seem to get chased off or silenced on the page. And no, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. I'm just saying this is something that I recognize. And I think a big reason for that is things that I've said in my other videos. I think people inherently feel the need to either defend their political figure or their party or some ideal because, again, I've told you, you know, stick up for yourself. You know, be a person, not a puppet. You know, like you're more than your party and the people that pretend to care about you on the TV that, you know, represent your ideals. Okay, other things I wanted to mention that I see on the page. Yeah, there's that fine line of aggression. You know, where do you like draw the line? And by you, I'm saying us. You know, I've obviously had to put my foot down a few times, but in my silence, I can't help but notice. Yeah, these are things that have always bothered me, and you know, it's messed up that I even have to like point this out. But I know that my silence probably has been seen because I've never openly said this in a video. I've probably said it a few times in passing on the show or in comments. And this isn't some like, oh, Rise siding with the commies, or, you know, oh, Rise grandstanding for women and minorities. Like, no, please save our data and notifications. I am simply pointing out that if I am gonna sit here and continue to have this page and see these notifications every day, you know, I should say my opinion. So beyond that, I'm not going to just point that out and not say that there isn't a path forward, because I truly think there is. And am I going to tell people what to do? I like to think, as your administration, I've been far from a tyrant. If anything, reminding you that it's your page and the power has always belonged to the people, and reminding you of that is actually a greater responsibility and requires more leadership than you'd think, because it's not sitting back and doing nothing. It is allowing it to be what it is, while letting it be what it is, while having someone up here keeping an eye on it so it doesn't completely devolve into chaos. And that's not as easy as you'd think, because, you know, you come in when necessary, as far as how I do it. And, you know, there's things that I miss, and that bums me out, and I'm sorry for that. But a big part of how this all works is because I believe in you all enough to keep this going. And you obviously believe in it enough to keep doing it. So, no, I don't want to sit here and simply chastise you all, or tell you how you do or don't have to act. I just have to be completely honest at what I've seen. And no, I think we're more than just those problems or those issues, but I have to be honest at what I see. So, no, you guys don't got to change anything, you know. I would never tell you to do that, but, you know, everyone's watching, I'm watching, so's anyone else that gets a notification. And you know God's watching. And you know the NSA, I'm sure, is watching. But if you're going to post something, if you're going to do something, if you're going to give us all a notification, make it something worth seeing. Remember, you are the revolution, and we will see you in the threads.